Hello Aquarius, how are you? Welcome to your July 2016 Love and General Tarot card readings. I'm about ready to go ahead and get started. Let me just give a couple more shuffles. And we'll move right into your love reading, okay? Aquarius, your love reading for July. Here we go. My goodness, I can't even tell you, I'm not even surprised that this King of Wands came up, but I am surprised as to the position, okay? The reason is because this King of Wands has been popping up in so many signs. There is someone out there, okay? There's an energy out there that really is... it's prominent, okay? I think a lot of people are going to be taking on a more like proactive approach to life. They're going to be, could be a fire sign, right? Because it is a wand, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. Someone who is really take charge and moves forward and thinks big picture and formulates new ideas, who's innovating. There's someone out there in your life, okay? And they are going to have a prominent place this month. Your partner, if it is your partner. If you're single though, there could be someone around you in your periphery, someone that you're dating, that this may speak to. Now the interesting part that I'm seeing, okay, is that maybe you aren't so interested in them because your energy is very much looking away from them. But because you're both looking in the same direction, you might actually be running along like similar parallel paths and hold a very independent type of relationship where there's not a lot of codependence going on. You don't rely on them, you don't need them, and same for them. However, maybe their energy is a little bit more geared and focused towards you than you are focused, geared towards them. Now, I'll get back to that because I want to get through the top part of this reading here, especially with the Justice in the center. Okay, there may have been Justice reverse, some injustice of some sort, something that you lost or something that you felt was unfair in a relationship. It could be a fight. Typically, the Justice is more related to actual contracts and negotiations and actual legal matters. So even, you know, in reference to a marriage, maybe a marriage breaking or you losing out on some type of a settlement or something like that. If that doesn't really speak to you, it's just some just some unfairness, okay? And I think you felt like you weren't served properly, okay? You didn't get what you deserved. Seven of Cups reverse tells me that maybe you were up in the clouds a little bit, right? Aquarius, air, we have the clouds here. Maybe you were a little bit in a fantasy, maybe your expectations were too high. And for some reason, things just kind of maybe didn't quite pan out the way you thought, the way you wanted. It could be in reference to a person, right? In reference to what you thought they were, or who you thought they were, what you thought they were going to be. And maybe it just, that wasn't reality. Okay, that's not how it actually was. And I think you're starting to see the reality. You're coming down to earth a little bit Excuse me. And I think it actually made you feel quite fearful. You know, we have the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Swords in reverse. So there is that element of like panic, a little bit of fear, a little bit of maybe being defensive and even going on the offensive instead, and fighting a little bit harder or too hard, and grasping, okay, and panicking that this fantasy or this idea of what you thought was going to happen, of what you thought this person was going to be, what the outcome of the situation was supposed to be, grasping at this idea, but yet not being able to avoid the reality, okay? And I have a feeling this is not going to speak to a lot of you. I don't know why this reading is coming out this way. If it doesn't speak to you, maybe check out your ascending and moon signs as well. Maybe that has more of a relevant story. I don't know why this is kind of saying, it's feeling very specific for some reason. Now, the Wheel of Fortune reverse, again, tells me that things are being laid out, that it is part of a greater plan, this injustice of some sort. I'm really sensing that this injustice is geared toward this person, okay? Not that they specifically took advantage of you, not specifically that they had any malicious intent or wanted to hurt you. It's just that maybe they were more right than you were. And that can be a little bit a tough pill to swallow sometimes, that maybe someone had a better argument, maybe someone had a better reason for something, and you are left feeling, I think, a little bit shattered, a little bit hurt, a little bit broken, maybe even feeling irrelevant or unnecessary to this person, especially if it's your partner, feeling a little bit embarrassed even as well, causing you to maybe look away, causing you that, okay, I just need to do this on my own. Like, I need to rebuild myself. You know, when this energy gets broken or is affected, as supportive as this person can be, this person can be a very supportive, and they're offering that to you, their support, you know, again, like I said, I don't believe that this was any type of like malicious intent, that they intended to hurt you in some way. It's just sort of the way it unfolded. But it did leave you feeling like your ego was affected, okay? And you being the Queen of Swords, you know, the swords all in general, you know, they work very hard. They are, you know, I've said this before in a couple readings, but I think I read this somewhere, that the suits are each representative of a class, you know, back in the time when tarot was a card game or something, you know, like these represented the peasant class, you had the military class, the cups are the artisans, and the pentacles are the merchants, right? The different classes of society at the time. And the military class, you know, they work, they train, they study, they practice, they go to war, they go to battle. They are workers. Okay, and so are, you know, the wands as well. They are about action, they are about doing, they are about productivity. So you have that, both of you, you know, you mirror each other in this way. But I think you want to do it on your own. You don't want their support, you don't want to listen to what they say, especially if they're the one that won the argument or they won the disagreement. And you are, you know what? I got to do this on my own. I need my own space. I need my own time. I just like, and any support, I think you are going to maybe shun away from. And if you are just single, not just trying to talk to just couples, but if you are in fact single, there may be someone in your life that is willing and ready to be there. Maybe someone that you're dating, but you just, like I said, and if you are just dating, this injustice may or may not have been tied to them. It could have been something else. But whatever the case, when you feel this way, you aren't looking to anyone for support. You don't want help from anyone. It's just like, let me just be on my own. Please just leave me alone. I just gotta take care of it. It will be fine. I just got to take care of it. And you do have faith that it will be fine because of this Wheel of Fortune. Things are supposed to be laid out this way. Maybe you don't understand the full plan as it is right now. Things are still unfolding. They're still slowly being revealed to you. You might not understand the big picture, but there is faith, okay? Faith that the universe is working in your favor. This injustice was supposed to happen for some sort of reason. Three of Pentacles. I really am thinking that you are, like, you're not willing, you're not ready to take this relationship to a next level until you've healed. And you are, you know, there may have been some miscommunication as well between the two of you, causing something. And it could have also been a misinterpretation, right? They could have said something and you could have misinterpreted as well. Okay, and I'm getting, you know, several cards of, I mean, all three in a row. I just realized this. All three in a row cards of lack of communication or bad communication, bad negotiations, bad compromise, things not going as smoothly or as swiftly as you would like, you not feeling heard, not feeling understood, maybe them not feeling heard. So just conflict, right? Just conflict, and causing you to be a little bit on the defensive and feeling like you need to protect yourself, you need to defend your life, your stance. And like I said, there is that element of panic and a little bit of desperation, like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. I don't understand why. And like, I don't know what to do. Okay, this idea came crashing down, this thought that I had, it's not making sense. My partner's not making sense. This guy or this girl that I'm dating, they're not making sense. And I thought I was so right. I thought I was on so point. I'm not. Things don't make sense. They're not working out the way I thought. That is going to put you on the defensive, a little bit of blocking them out, blocking out opinions and ideas. You know, you might not be willing to listen to what other people have to say about the matter. Like I said, when your ego is affected, sometimes you don't want to hear where it is you went wrong, right? Like I said, this person may have been more right than you, not saying you were wrong, but they were just a little bit more right. And sometimes that feels unfair. Jeez. Well, the good news is, Devil reverse, okay? I feel like whatever idea and fantasy you had may have been more potent than I originally thought, okay? This fantasy world, this idea, this expectation, is something that I think over time, as this Wheel of Fortune spins and as things, like I said, become revealed to you, you are in fact going to be letting go of something. Some of you may be letting go of a marriage, okay? Justice and Devil reverse. There could be a really severe situation, okay? I'm not trying to dummy down or to water down the message. Some of you might be going through a lot right now. But some of you might not be going through so much. It might not really be a big deal. Some of you may feel the energy more strongly than others. But something is releasing. You are no longer chaining yourself to these obligations, to these ideas, to these responsibilities, to this other person. You might be the initiator, okay, because of your, your presence here and your energy looking away, whereas they are still looking for you, offering you support in some way. You might be the one that decides to leave, that decides to take a new path and change, okay? And here you are taking a new path and moving forward and leaving things behind. Now, this may or may not be the best choice, okay? Obviously, I'm not telling anyone to split up or to divorce, but it could also just indicate your emotions. Your emotions are leaving things behind. You are choosing to forget. You are choosing to release, okay? And that lack of emotional burden, I think, is what will bring you peace and stability and happiness and something worth celebrating, okay? Some of you a physical leaving, some of you an emotional leaving, okay? This is a forgive and forget type of emotional card. Forgive and forget, and let's move forward. Let's just focus on the future. Like I said, you are both still focused in the same direction. If this is your husband or your wife, you are still moving together. You are still progressing. They might be a little bit more of the leader. You might not really care at this point. You're just going to be going and doing your own thing. But yet you are still together. You are still on track, and you are still moving forward towards some goal. And you can still do that if you are able to move away from this, okay? And you will find success, you will find happiness and something worth celebrating. Okay, so kind of a really, almost like an intense reading for you guys. Wow, I hope it's insightful in some way. Okay, let me go ahead and get started with your general energies. Okay. Interesting to have that in the same spot. Okay, Nine of Pentacles reverse. I'm sensing overall this month a feeling of discomfort. Okay, you're not going to be in the most comfortable state of mind, the most comfortable, situation or scenario. You might feel like resources are being expended, either energy resources or financial resources and emotional resources. Like you are trying to just almost like you don't even care though, okay? You're on a path, okay? There is some level of success in your life. I want to get back to this because I'm not quite sure exactly. It feels a little bit out of place. But I think there is a big picture for you, right? And you are seeking grandeur. We all are. We all want, whatever you call it, the American dream or the family with the white picket fence, whatever. You are being faced, however, with some form of a choice, okay, and some need for balance. And here we even have the Emperor. He's popped out a couple times too. Again, another fire-like energy. So very possibly an Aries, okay, because this is the card of Aries, but fire as well, Leo, Sagittarius. You know, they are prominent this month, and this doesn't necessarily have to be your romantic partner. It could be a business leader or some type of mentor to you, someone that you respect, most likely someone older than you are. And I feel like there might be some level of disconnect between what it is you're working for and what it is maybe this partner or friend or father or this character wants and expects of you. Okay, now it's interesting that we have this card in the exact same spot. This time it comes out right side up, okay, indicating to me that you have not lost sight of your goal, okay? Things may have shifted, but you have not lost sight. And you are continuing to work. In a work scenario, this could be taking on new projects, creating new things. If you are an artisan, you know, and you build and you create and you produce, you know, this can indicate leveraging your past portfolio of work that you've done, and using that to get a bigger commission piece or a new client or something like that. And finding a way to harness your talents and to put them to very good use, okay? And I think that this is, you know, very much about you, and yet there is something happening very much about this person. And there is conflict, or there has been conflict, you know, maybe some arguments, maybe some frustrations. And I think maybe that's sort of what is draining you a little bit. Like I said, you're expending resources, energy and emotional, not just financial, but they could be, you know, like this is a demanding energy. They demand attention, they demand ego stroking, they demand like you to be there for them. Not to say that they aren't supportive, because they absolutely can be, and they're totally in your corner and super loyal and all of that, but they do require a lot from you, and it might be something that you don't necessarily feel like you have to give, okay? Again, you don't have to apply this in romantic capacity. It could be a work situation, a demanding boss, right? Like they would go to the nth degree to make sure that you continue to work and have a position here, or, you know, even mentor you and take you by the hand and show you how to grow and progress. And whether it's a company or a small business, doesn't matter. But yet there are still some things maybe that are, you know, a little bit conflict. You know, this is like the card of battles and fighting for no reason. I love this card in reverse because it means that stuff is going away. The argumentativeness, the clinging to ideas for no good reason, not having a really solid understanding of what it is you want. It's even like cutting out and allowing people to leave your life if you don't want them in your life. You know, just let them go. Not saying that you're going to let this person go, but if there was some conflict or if there was some issue between the two of you, you have decided maybe it's just totally not worth fighting for, and you're just going to let it go. It could leave you feeling a little unfocused, right? You have so much positivity here. I just feel like you're feeling the weight. And I love this card. To me, these swords, you know, they're very heavy, and to have them weighing on your chest like that, you know, how can that not affect you? How can it not affect your breathing, affect your sleeping? And sometimes you don't know how to relieve yourself of this stress. You don't know how to find the balance, and you don't know how to see the truth and the best way out, right? There are no answers with this card. You might have inklings, but there's really no right, there's really no wrong. It's just choosing a path. And sometimes you just don't know which one to choose. And sometimes these can be connected. You know, if this speaks to you in terms of work and in terms of your creative abilities, it can speak to you that way. Or it can speak to you in two very separate things. You might have someone in your life that is a little, like I say, demanding, and then yet you wish and crave to be free and free to create and harness those artistic and professional abilities that you have, but yet feeling obligated in some way. Now, the good news is that this is coming to a close with the presence of the Death card. That is a promise that your situation will end, that this, stress that you could be feeling and this desire to see and desire to understand is coming to an end. You will see, but in reverse, it's not as quickly as you might like. It's not as obvious as you might like. The only thing that gets you through this is time. In the meantime, you will continue to do the work. You will continue to grow. You will continue to produce and be the best and put your best foot forward. You may just kind of set this aside almost and just allow it to fizzle out in some way, whatever issue this is. No, not all of you can just walk away, especially if this is your boss or especially if this is someone that you're related to, someone important to you in your life. You may have just had a little bout of where you were spending more time. You were spending more time here as opposed to here on yourself, making you feel a little bit lost, feeling a little bit scattered. However, I feel like you're still going to go through the motions. You're still going to do what is expected of you. You might not be going over and beyond, but you will still get things done and still maintain your peace in that way. And maybe even use the distraction of work, use the distraction of the tasks at hand to, like I say, to allow your mind to be here as opposed to here. This is very much a very separate reading for some reason. It's very like 3 columns, right? Each one its own little mini reading. And the strength speaks to your strength and your ability to make whatever you need to make out of the situation, right? This is the beast, you taming the beast. These swords are the beast. They are the things that create turmoil and frustration and stress in our life. And I said this in another sign, I'm going to say it again, as cliche as it may seem, and I almost hate saying it because it's so cliche, but we do create our lives. We create them. We are the designers of our life, and you are taking on a very creative mindset right now. It doesn't matter if you're an accountant, it doesn't matter if you're a bank teller or if you're a cashier or an attorney, it doesn't matter. You are harnessing a very creative side of yourself in your job, in your career, and you have the power to make that into whatever it is you want. This is a card of creativity, a card of creation, of making something from nothing. And if you have the power to create something from nothing, then you absolutely have the power to make your life what it is you want, to cut the people out that don't need to be there, to not allow yourself to be overpowered by demanding energies, to not allow yourself to be obligated when you don't feel it's a just obligation. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull out some more cards. Whoops. I'm going to leave those separate because I think they really are separate. And now we have this one again, so the twos. So yeah, I mean, there's certainly an element of not feeling like you're able to keep all the balls in the air, feeling like you are failing in some way, like you are not quite living up to your end of the bargain. But I think that's just you projecting that onto yourself. You're not letting anybody down. You're not disappointing anybody. You might just be disappointing yourself in some way by allowing someone to take resources from you, by allowing someone to take time away from you even. And well, let me come here actually, because the Four of Swords is, you know, I don't feel like there's a lot of mental activity happening with this particular reading. Like your head's not spinning, you're not all in your head, you're not thinking, this is a reading of action. This is a reading of creating change. In reverse, you're not sitting there and taking a break and thinking about things and reliving and trying to figure out what happened and all that. What you're doing, you're coming out of that headspace and you are acting. Pentacles, even though they are, you know, more practical and they're not necessarily wands, cards of action, these do imply action. You are doing things, you are making and creating. So you are not worried about this person. You're not worried about this scenario. You're not worried about what happens to them. Yes, there may be some obligation. Yes, you may have. But now is the time where you are standing up for yourself and you are saying, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to, you know, allow you to take time away from what I've got going on. And I see a swift change and I see clear and accurate communication. You know, you're going to be able to say what you need to say when you need to say it. You're going to be able to invite that change very welcomely into your life. Whatever change your strength creates, okay, in your life, it is a very welcome change. Now, like I said, it might not be over. It might not completely dissipate so clearly, but I think even on even a very visual level, you will be able to see your life transforming in a way that you might not have expected originally, just by standing up for yourself and cutting those things out of your life. Okay, so that is it for you, Aquarius. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope to see you next month in August. Thanks. Take care.